All right, so using the compressor, when you walk in the room, you'll turn on the lights. Now this is the compressor room. This should be off. You're gonna turn it to on. This sends power to the compressor itself. The next step, before you mess with anything on the panel, come over here to this side panel, open it up, and this little valve right here, just open it, give it like 10, 15 seconds. What this is doing is draining the fluid that was built up in this catch tube. It's going to be filled with water and oil. That's just excess that comes from the compressor. That's completely normal. Once you're done draining it, you're going to close it, and then you can close this whole unit back. Make sure when you're opening it is for this drain tube, not for this little drain down here. And if you can get in close and see, it's not this one. This is the one that drains the oil out of the compressor. It is for this tube right here. So there's two yellow valves. Make sure you open the correct one, and then make sure you close this door. The compressor won't run. Once this door is closed, you're going to come over here. You have your emergency stop. If it is activated, you're going to rotate it clockwise. That's going to make sure that it's off. You shouldn't have to operate this emergency stop switch unless there's a true emergency, something that is catastrophic or dangerous. Generally, we're going to use this stop button to turn off the compressor. That has this 2-minute delay, it even says right there. And what that does is it purges the system and gets everything cleaned out when it's turned off. Once all that's completed, you're going to hit start, the green button. It's going to kick on, it's going to make a noise. That rattling sound is normal, that's just it building up pressure. The carbon monoxide air quality system is going to give you a prompt verify CO panel setup. You're going to hit this star button. It's going to tell you turn sampler to, we're going to turn the dial to sample, which is vertically oriented on this black knob. You're going to hit star. Adjust flow to 0.5, that's talking about this one. Opening it, raises it, closing it, lowers it. You want it to just be hovering over 0.5, just like with an oxygen tree. It doesn't have to be like completely dead on, but somewhat close. And then hit star. Make sure that this one is in that 25 range. If it's too high, you can open it, which actually brings it down, or close it, which brings it up. So you want it about 25. From there, the compressor is running. Everything else should be self-operating. It'll turn itself on when it reaches 45 or 5,500 psi. Each one of these gauges is just a bank on the compressor. If one of these, if some of them are on and one of them zero, that means we have a problem. So that's just keep an eye on them, and as long as they look somewhat like they're all making pressure, that's good. The only other thing in this room before you go to the fill station is make sure that this valve on the top, if you want to fill off of these big bottles, is open. Just like with every valve in the fire department, make sure when you open it all the way, you crack it back like a quarter turn. That way somebody walks up here, they can go, okay, it's open. Or if it's closed, they'll know, okay, I'm not feeling any movement, that must mean it's closed, and then they'll open it. When you're done with this compressor, I would say that we're probably going to close this. That way these bottles don't leak down. This one sits a lot of the time, and so it seems that little leaks happen a little bit more often. So keeping these closed when it's not in use is very helpful. So again, that quarter turn back. All right, use the station. All right, fuel fire in here. The fill station is in a separate room, which is nice because you're not hearing all of that noise. Starting from the top, we have a light switch here. It's very handy to have for just kicking on, to have lights, especially like right now where it's dark. This is an auxiliary outlet that can stay closed, doesn't need to be open, just like the ones on the other compressor. I actually think I just heard it reach fill pressure, which means the compressor will turn off soon. This storage refill dial, this is not one that we have on our other compressor. What this does is, if I close it, it is now isolated this fill station from the bottles, and now you're only filling off compressor pressure. So make sure if you want to fill off the big tanks, which is a lot faster, you have it open. And again, open it all the way. And I'm actually gripping it in a way I shouldn't. Try to grip it, I either call it the spot grip, like this, with your fingers, or use 2 fingers. It's a little bit pain on your grip, but if you hold it like a full fist grip, you're going to break these valves. So once you get to the end, go back a quarter turn. All right, from there, you have another auxiliary outlet. Again, just keep that closed. You're actually going to follow the arrows. This one's actually kind of labeled. It goes down. This is your supply pressure coming into the compressor or to the fill station from the compressor / bottles. Right now, you can see is at 6,000. Then you have this regulator. This is just like the regulator on the other one, except it has this knob. You can see I'm just spinning it and it's doing nothing. This one you have to press in, and you can either lower it or raise it. Just like the other one, but you have to push in to turn it. That's a safety mechanism, so that way you don't accidentally hit it. I'm dialing it into 4,500, so that way you could fill 4,500 PSI bottles. From there, you have your two fill banks here. You can fill them one at a time, just like the ones at the Station 1. You have these valves. These isolate each hose in case you only want to fill one hose. And then each compressor or each bank is actually isolated up here. So this is for the right bank. This is for the left bank. You have a fill knob. So I would put my, let's say we're putting one of these bottles in here. We're going to borrow one of these from the university. Something to keep in mind, there are little sleeves somewhere. If for some reason one got put in here and the bottles don't fit, that might be why. But our bottles are short enough, it should be fine. So put our bottle on here. Something you will notice, there are no quick release threads on this one. Sorry, that's just the way this compressor came. So get that threaded all the way down. Open up the bottle. Maybe I can't fill their bottles. I don't know how they're... Or it's frozen. Okay. We'll get that in editing. Alright. Oh, wait, I know I can fill one of these. Oh, there's the sleeves if you need to shorten up one of these to fit the correct length bottle. Well, we'll say we hooked it up. So we put a bottle in here. We would close, if we have one bottle in, we would close the hose that isn't getting used. Or if there's two bottles, obviously we leave them both open. Then, I'm going to keep them closed because I'm not using it. We'll put our bottles in, this door goes shut. This handle gets closed, it will raise itself, and it will jam up into the top. That's in order to keep the door from coming out. Now if I wanted to fill, and you would crack that just like you would at Station 1. Make sure these are the vents, so keep those closed for now. That filled up, we'll say that the bottles are full. Now I close my fill, I can open my vent, or sorry, I wouldn't open the vent yet because my bottles are still open. So next, I'd pull my bottles out, or I would close my bottle valve itself. Then I don't even have to close these. I'd open this just like the vent at Station 1, those little metal ones that are down there. This does the same thing. It drains the lines between the fill and the bottle itself. You would bleed off the air. Once the air was bled off, then you can take this hose off. And rinse and repeat. Alright, so once that is complete, you've got all your bottles done. Oh, one more thing before I go away from the fill station. These little grommets, they like to do this. And then they're in the hole. If you can, what I do is one, I pull the hose back till I can find it with my finger. I hold it with my fingernails. I push the hose in, and then take my thumb and hold this, and just pull the whole grommet out. Now the grommet's back out, I can run it back in. I probably, if I can get back out here, I'll try to put some glue or something on these to keep them in place. But sometimes they like to pop back in. Those are important because you end up getting the outer, this is just the protective layer of the hose. There's metal and then rubber. But it starts to wear through it, and our hoses are getting due to be replaced because of it. So if you can do that, that's fantastic. So that's the fill station. When you're done doing everything, you can leave it just like it is. You can leave this open to storage if you want, because again, we're going to close the valve on the very top, turn the light off, and we'll go back and do the shutdown process on the compressor. Actually, I'll show what happens when our compressor is in high pressure status, or I guess I should say at a shut-off pressure. So standby final pressure, that's good. That just means you've hit your final pressure on these big banks, and now the whole compressor system has kicked off. Once you were done, say these, once you've filled up all the balls you want, maybe you topped off these ones if you're being nice to the next person. The next part of the process is this: if this was still running, you would hit stop. It will continue to run even after you've hit this stop button if it was already running, again, so it can do its shut-off process. So we'll let it run, it will go, and then all of a sudden it'll just look like this. So once you hit the stop will go red, and then you can wait 2 minutes and it'll turn itself off. Once it's like this, I would highly recommend, especially if these bottles are already full, to close this up. Use that, again, that 2 or 3 finger grip so you're not ripping it off. And now it's closed. And that just keeps it from leaking anywhere in our fill station. Again, I think I've isolated the leaks, but if this is going to sit for a long time, I can't guarantee that you won't come back and these are low. Once that's done, the only thing that's left is to turn off this power. That just guarantees that this compressor does not try to turn on, or somebody who doesn't know what they're doing comes in and hits a button. All right, that's it. Thank you.